Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, the speakership rivalry continues with Marinduque Representative Lord Allan Velasco accusing House Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano of political maneuverings and theatrics to stay in power. Cayetano offers to resign from the speakership, but majority of lawmakers reject this move. And despite the president's directive to honor the term-sharing deal, will Velasco get enough votes to be the next House Speaker? Anak Kalusugan Party List Representative Mike Defensor and PBA Party List Representative Jericho Nograles join us live. Marinduque Representative Lord Allan Velasco breaks his silence in the speakership tug-of-war. In a Facebook post, Velasco says political maneuverings and theatrics took the budget deliberations hostage. Velasco made the remark after House Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano offered his resignation, but Congressmen rejected his move. The lower chamber also suspended the budget deliberations until Friday. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have PBA Party List Representative Jericho Nograles. Congressman Nograles, welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, Pinky. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's make it clear, Congressman. You were at the floor yesterday, but from my understanding, you didn't vote. Why is that?
That's correct. I was at the floor yesterday when Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano delivered his speech, and Congressman Mike Defensor moved to reject the offer of Speaker Cayetano to resign. And when there was a viva voce voting, which is simple ayes and nays, no one opposed the motion of Congressman Mike Defensor. But when there was already a nominal voting, that is when I walked out of the absurd proceedings that happened yesterday. And I intentionally did not cast a vote in the motion of Congressman Mike Defensor.
Why do you call it absurd, Congressman?
Well, I find it absurd because, first of all, what is an offer to resign? Nothing in the rules of the House of Representatives talks about an offer of resignation. It's very clear. In our rules, it's either you resign or you do your job. In this case, yesterday, Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano made an offer to resign. And after he made this offer to resign, he walked out of the floor. And that was when Congressman Mike Defensor made this motion to reject the Speaker's offer to resign. And so I find it nothing in our rule book that's there or that's proper. So I decided to walk away because I could not, in good conscience, participate in wasting the taxpayers' time. You know, congressmen are there to do a job, and our job is to pass the budget. That is the main focus right now. What happened yesterday? We suspended the deliberations of the budget, and we, after suspending it, we opened the privilege hour. And at the opening sentences of Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano, he even admitted that he wanted to speak on Facebook. I think he should have done that. I think he should have just spoken on Facebook rather than suspend the deliberations on the budget. Today, I was prepared to go to Congress today to question the DOTR budget, to question a lot of problems inside the DOTR. However, today was called off. We don't have any work today. And so today's budget deliberation is postponed to maybe tomorrow because we didn't even finish yesterday's business. And that's an affront to the taxpayers. I mean, if I could give back my salary for yesterday, I will. Maybe I should. And maybe we all should.
Congressman Nograles, you're saying this is not in the rule book. There's no such thing as offer to resign. But the Speaker did that yesterday. Does that make it illegal?
No, it doesn't make it illegal. But what happened yesterday, simply put, You know, when the boss asks you to resign, it's either you gracefully accept your fate or you complain to your subordinates. Yesterday, what we saw is a Speaker of the House of Representatives complain to his congressman. And for me, that was absurd. He could have done it on Facebook. He said so himself. He shouldn't have hijacked the floor deliberations on the budget. That's unfair. You know, Congress is a collegial body. It is not a Congress of one person. What happened yesterday was it became a Congress of one person. That's contrary to his claim that we are a house of the people.
Right.
How could we be a house of the people if we're not hearing, if
But-
we're not listening to the people? We're
But what-
listening to him.
But what do you say to the fact that if you're saying it's not a house of one person nor just the speaker, but you have more than 180 congressmen and women supporting Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano, then that makes it a house, a majority of the house, which is 184 congressmen.
Exactly as what Congressman Lito Atienza said yesterday. He supported the continuation of Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano up to October 14. Eh yun naman yung usapan, di ba? No less than Speaker Cayetano announced it in his speech yesterday. He confirmed that October 14 is the reckoning day. And that was his assignment from the President, according to Speaker Cayetano, that he had to report to the members of the House of Representatives, which he could have done by Zoom in a majority caucus or in an all-members caucus. But what happened? He hijacked the floor.
What do you think really was this an intentional plan by the speaker and his allies?
Well, I could assume that they took 15 months to prepare for this day. I could assume that, but I think it would be unfair. That question is best left to ask Speaker Cayetano. I mean, I could not answer for him. I can speak about my personal feelings as a member of Congress and my professional feelings as a representative of the people. And I say that we wasted taxpayers' time listening to a speech that could have been on Zoom for all the members of Congress or on Facebook for the whole world. I mean, that's not,
Okay.
while it is a privilege of any member of Congress to speak on a matter of personal or collective issues or privilege, and it is his right to do so, he abused it yesterday. We're in the middle of the COVID-19 budget. People are getting hungry. And then we had to endure more than an hour and worse, the effect of suspending today's deliberation on the budget as an effect of yesterday. I mean, how much pain can our country take? We should not waste time in addressing the people's concern. This is already against our mandate.
So-
Nahihiya ako sa mga constituents ng Kongreso. Ba't natin nasuspindi ang budget?
So,
Mali
be that as it may, Congressman, hindi po napag-usapan yung budget kahapon, and that has been something that's been talked about even with a possible turnover of speakership dahil kailangan ang prioridad is to pass the budget. So, hindi po napag-usapan ang budget kahapon. Why was also the session canceled today? Why was the budget also not discussed or will not be discussed today?
The session was canceled today because the Congress of One said no session today. I really don't know why it was canceled today. I mean, it was already hard enough for me to listen to that speech that suspended budget deliberations yesterday. Nagulat na lang ako yesterday evening, kinancel pa lang ngayong araw. I mean, what for? What
do you
for?
think?
We're here. We're
Why do you think?
ready to scrutinize. We're ready to protect the people, and then cancel for what? Diba? Hindi in-explain sa amin. Kinancel lang ng ganyan. And
Okay.
that is a problem. And that problem only occurs when it is a Congress of one person and no longer a collegial body.
What happens, though, on October 14? Because it did seem that there was an agreement between Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano, Congressman Lord Allan Velasco, and the President that there will be a turnover on October 14. Palagay niyo ho ba, number one, mangyayari ito? At pangalawa, kung mangyari ito, kailangan ho ba ng boto ni Lord Allan Velasco, and does he have it?
Well, unang-una, it's perspective. But the expectation is the same. The President brokered a tripartite agreement as the leader of the supermajority of coalitions of political parties. And that tripartite agreement was signed on July of 2019 by Allan Peter Cayetano, Lord Allan Velasco, and Ferdinand Martin Romualdez. It's a tripartite agreement. And that tripartite agreement was upheld on September 29, just 2 nights ago. And yesterday, the tripartite agreement was confirmed by no less than Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano in his privileged speech yesterday. And so, ang expectation ng lahat, from the words and the confirmation of Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano, matutuloy yung October 14. As to your other question, that Lord would need the votes, of course. Will he have the votes? I believe so. Kasi ang expectation nga, Cayetano was asked to resign. The expectation is he will abide by the political leader of the supermajority. And if he doesn't abide, well, I guess the President said it most eloquently, magulo yan.
So hinihintay niyo na lang po kung ano mangyayari sa October 14.
Well, we have no choice. But ang nangyari kahapon, sasabihin natin, round 8 yan sa boxing. Ang October 14, round 12 sa boxing yan. So expect no fireworks if certain people in Congress will not grow up and accept their fate.
Maraming salamat to Congressman Jericho Nograles. And more reactions on the battle for speakership. When we return, we'll speak to Anak Kalusugan Party List Representative Mike Defensor. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. What happened yesterday was absurd. In fact, at some point, he walked out. Sabi niya ho kasi, wala naman daw ho sa rule book yung no such thing as an offer to resign. Can you react to that, sir, please?
Well, actually, Pinky, there is such a thing as in parliamentary processes, may mga actions that are to be taken or to be acted upon. In this case, ang sinabi naman ni Speaker very clear that I am offering my resignation. So, immediately, based on that, I objected and I moved to reject the offer of resignation of Speaker Allan Cayetano. So, wala naman talagang, in a debate or a discussion, wala ka namang, you don't debate based on, this is rule 1, this is what will happen, rule 2, this is what will happen. So, it's a process. Parang proseso ng debate, proseso ng discussion. And that was what happened yesterday. And I think what's very about it, Pinky, based on the results, is that there is an overwhelming support, overwhelming majority of confidence for the continued leadership of Speaker Allan Cayetano.
Why, Congressman, why offer to resign and why not just resign?
Well, I can't answer that. No, that was the position of Speaker Allan Cayetano. But let me just clarify dun sa rules namin, there is such a thing as a resignation. And in the case of a resignation, even as a member, and konting trivia lang, this happened before with President Duterte. When we were together in Congress, there was an incident and Congressman then, Rudy Duterte, offered to resign. And collectively, the House rejected the offer of then Congressman Rudy Duterte. So, may mga ganyan talagang situation. In this particular case, ang nagre-resign siya as Speaker of the House, and that was the action taken by the House. I don't think, we should be faulted for rejecting that kasi yun naman ang pagpapala ng karamihan. Even our Majority Floor Leader, Martin Romualdez, who ran against Speaker Allan Cayetano, supported his continued leadership and his continued stay as Speaker of the House. No less than Deputy Speaker Dong Gonzales and Deputy Speaker Johnny Pimentel who were the generals of Congressman Lord Allan Velasco, na kandidato siya noon for speaker, sila mismo yung nangunguna at kasama namin doon sa pagsasabi na dapat manatili si Speaker Allan Cayetano.
So it's also clear, because I did see the name of Congressman Johnny Pimentel as part of the manifesto, no? Because ibig sabihin ho ba, just to be clear about it, si Congressman Gonzales at si Congressman Pimentel ay nandun na po sa side ni Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano. That's very clear.
Yes, I think that's very clear. The manifesto states very clearly that we will support the continued stay of Speaker Allan Cayetano. Of course, notwithstanding any, if I'm not mistaken, any directive or any wish that would come from the palace as part of the agreement they had in the past.
Okay.
So, so dun sa nakabatay sa nakasulat, they would want him to stay, and that yesterday, during the vote dun sa motion, they also voted for the rejection of the offer of resignation.
But kayo na po nagsabi, pending this, agreement, of course, between the two gentlemen and President Rodrigo Duterte. So let's talk about this, Congressman Defensor. October 14, it somehow was clear, you can oppose it if you wish to, that meron hong October 14 na turnover. Would you agree na malinaw po na dun sa pag-uusap ni Pangulo at ng dalawang congressman na meron pong dapat na mangyaring turnover sa October 14?
Well, una sa lahat, Pinky, I was not there during the discussion. And I think the discussion and the debate should be on a higher plane. Ang dapat namin pag-usapan talaga bilang miyembro ng Kongreso, una, hindi naman appointed Speaker Allan Cayetano. We all elected him, and he has a responsibility not only to the individual members, but to the institution of the House of Representatives. Kaya dito sa usapin na to, ano ba talaga? Do we now change the leadership? Babalitan ba namin yung liderato ng Kongreso sa gitna ng meron tayong pandemya at may krisis na kinakaharap? Iba yung naging pag-uusap nila dati, iba yung kinakaharap namin ngayon. Sabi ko nga, di ba, na may bagyo tayong dinadaanan, nasa isang barko tayo bilang Kongreso, bilang bansa, bilang bayan, at kailangan natin pag-usapan, how do we now go through all this, no? The crisis that we are currently experiencing in terms of our economy. Maraming walang trabaho, maraming mga negosyong bumabagsak, maraming mga OFW na umuwi at meron pa rin mga na-stranded pa rin. At marami pa rin tayong problema pang kalusugan, of which I'm very actively part of the debates on the Department of Health budget. Kailangan ayusin. So, yun yung aking unang dapat sagutin. Magpapalit ba tayo ng liderato? Capable ba yung papalit na kaya niyang i-lead ang ating Kongreso at ang ating bansa sa gitna ng krisis na to? If the answer is no, then we stick with Allan Cayetano.
Okay.
I'm sure the supporters of Congressman Lord Velasco would say na he is capable of doing that. But ang question ko rin naman dito, Pinky, sabi nga, tinanong ako hindi ba kayo nakakapag-usap? Hindi. Nagkaroon ba kayo? Never. So that is the problem we're facing now, Pinky.
Congressman Defensor will be taking a very short break. We will be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Anak Kalusugan Party List Representative Mike Defensor. Congressman, yung pong nangyari kahapon, yung puna ng ilan, tila daw scripted yung nangyari kahapon. Did Speaker Allan Peter Cayetano tell you that he would offer to resign?
Well, Pinky, from the night that it happened, nagkaroon kasi sila ng meeting with the President, meron na silang sinasabi na tapos na daw, magpapalitan na. And to be honest, Pinky, ang position ko is I am strongly for the leadership of Speaker Allan Cayetano. Not for anything personal, pero nakita nyo naman yung committee namin, dire-diretso kami sa hearings. Ngayong umaga, matapos itong interview, magtutuloy kami sa PhilHealth, and I have seen his leadership and support. Nung COVID, nagkaroon ng suspension, ang House kami, ang Kongreso, dapat suspended ang mga sessions, dire-diretso kami. 24/7 kahit linggo nagmi-meeting kami para pag-usapan yung mga kailangan gawin. Nandun yung social moderation program, nandun yung pag-uwi ng OFWs na ako yung nag-lead, no? As a committee, we were discussing the ABS-CBN issue. We had our own discussions on the health problems during COVID. And so, strongly for the continued stay of Allan Cayetano. And I've said that. And I think, Pinky, yung mga bumoto kahapon, makikita mo naman those very active, those in the leadership, are there in support of the continued stay of Speaker Allan Cayetano.
Okay, but did he tell you that he was going to offer to resign?
Well, there were discussions as to what he will do, but yung actual floor deliberations and plenary debate, kanya-kanya na kami doon. Kaya nga nagkagulo pa rin kami kahapon. If you noticed, when I was calling for a nominal voting, sumingit si Congressman Ace Barbers and saying it was a unanimous vote because there was no objection. So all these things, hindi naman yung sinasabing planadong-planado. We knew that it was going to happen, but as to the process and the actions to be taken by the members of Congress, kanya-kanya kami.
Very quickly, sir, mangyayari pa ho kaya yung October 14 turnover of speakership, quite frankly, sir?
Well, Pinky, if you ask me, I will not advise for the Speaker to offer his resignation on the 14th. I think it is now incumbent upon the group of Congressman Lord Allan Velasco na sila naman ang motion to declare the position vacant. Kasi if you declare it vacant, you need a majority of all members present. But to become Speaker, you need a majority of all the members of Congress, which is about 154 votes.
And yun lang pong mangyayari sa tingin ninyo. Kung sakaling gawin yon at he musters the votes, that's the only time he will be Speaker, si Congressman Lord Allan Velasco, if they declare the position vacant and he gets the numbers. Otherwise, it will be Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano still.
Well, yun ang aking paniniwala. No? It depends. Hindi naman ako yung nasa leadership ng House. Lord Velasco can always talk, they can always talk with the President to thresh out these issues. Pero ang unang do we change our leadership, our situation in Congress, itong sitwasyon natin sa bansa, na meron tayong problema? Ako, yun ang una kong katanungan Kasi sinasabi naman madami gentleman's agreement, pero di ba tanong, ano yung benepisyo sa bansa? Ano yung dapat mangyari? And I think that's the basic question that we have to answer right now.
All right. Thank you, Congressman Mike Defensor. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you. Mabuhay.
And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.